this life has anything to gain at all, I'll count a loss if I can't hear you, feel you, cause I need you. Can't walk this earth alone. I recognize I'm not my own. So before I fall, I need to hear you, feel you, as I live to make my boast in you.
Hi guys. So as many of you know, I'm busy with this crazy idea to start an orphanage in Kenya. So I thought I'd just share my vision with you guys, a bit of where the story comes from and the background, so that you can be a part of the Azara journey, because I can't do this thing by myself. I need all of your guys' help too. So the story begins in Kenya. I was there on a mission trip with a couple of friends of mine, and we're sitting in the front yard of the accommodation of where we're staying, and we're busy praying, just spending some time alone. And suddenly I get this vision that God is going to turn the place we're staying into an orphanage. And I rushed inside to go and fetch a pen and paper to write the whole idea down. And as I got to the front door of our establishment, I bumped into the bishop, who's the chap who was hosting us. And I'm extremely excited. I'm on a bit of a high. So I just blurt out to him, God's going to turn this place into an orphanage. And the bishop's eyes literally go the size of saucers. And he says that he's been fasting for 21 days and been praying for 7 years for an orphanage for Kenya. So the bishop and I spent some time together sharing our ideas and our visions that we had for the orphanage. And it was completely incredible. Our two visions just gelled perfectly like that. What he'd been planning for 7 years was exactly what I had suddenly felt in those couple of split seconds there in the front yard. So I began planning with my friends. We put a team together, busy thinking about how we're going to implement the orphanage. And suddenly I just became completely overwhelmed by how crazy of an idea it was, how almost impossible it was to do something like that. But then, which is probably the most exciting thing about this trip for me, was the more we went and planned the orphanage, the more it was just so obvious that the thing was meant to be. The more we went out and approached people with the idea, the more we were just connected with the right people, and things just fell into place. I could sit here probably for the next hour and tell you stories about how everything just was very, very smooth in the process while we were in Kenya. And even when we got back to SA, even on the plane, we met people who were involved in orphanages and could help us. But the most encouraging thing for me was the land. We said to God, we're looking for a piece of land which is next to a main road, so it can be easily found, you can easily transport things there. It needs to be close to electricity. There's hardly anywhere in the village which has electricity. I mean, if you want to go buy a cold, cool drink, you can't find it anywhere because no one has power. And we also wanted a place close to water because they use wells in the area which we're staying in. So the bishop who we're staying with, he has a church in the area. His church is one of the few places with electricity, one of the few places with a well, and it's close enough to a road which is developed enough to allow people to easily travel there and easily bring things for building an orphanage and all that type of stuff. So we went to go speak to the chap who lives next door to the church. And at first he was very against the idea of selling his land. We tried to encourage him. He said, no, it's not going to happen. It's his family's land. He inherited it. It was passed down to him. And then later on he came back to us and his whole viewpoint had changed completely. He said he'd spent some time thinking about it and he feels that he's meant to give us the land. So he's agreed to sell us an acre of land for 45,000 rand, which includes a small house on it, which can be used to provide accommodation for 5 kids. And it'll be right next door to the church, which has a building on it which can seat about 100 people. So we can use that for a school to teach the kids during the week. So now I'm back in SA. We've put together a team for the orphanage. We've got an architect, we've got someone in charge of building, we've got someone in charge of education, we've got a person who focuses on leadership and sustainability. So we've got a really great team of really well-educated people together. And the plan is to return to Kenya in December. So yeah, these are basically our plans. I'd like to encourage you guys to get involved in the Azara journey, to be part of the process. I know it sounds incredibly cliche, but we can't do it by ourselves. We need all of your guys' help. So let's make a difference together where it really counts.